First case, 5342. Second case, 5722. Third case, 6805. And then, then 0088, which is then lien reduction. And then we'll finish the rest. Okay? Okay. Yeah, it's in the back of it. You can have my copy if you want it. Take my copy. That's all I got too. Yeah. Did you get an email? Yeah. Yeah, the email had the agenda on it. But you don't have one. It's just a car in the driveway with flat tire.
It's just, it wasn't quite so much. It was just people that knew me and felt comfortable. You could have, I don't think you could. She gave. I wasn't. I appreciate your concern.
Okay? Thank you. Okay, the February 12th, 2020 meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is called to order. You would all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented tonight. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rule of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to do so by the chair and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'll ask that all persons who expect to give testimony tonight to stand and be sworn in by the city clerk.
If you plan to speak, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony or evidence you're about to give or present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. Cases may be taken out of order to accommodate respondents and witnesses that are present tonight, and I believe we will be doing that to some degree. Right, ready to start? First case? Oh, yeah, sorry, yes, minutes and ex parte, you're right. So first, we'll have the approval of the minutes. Has everybody received a copy of the minutes?
Yes.
Do we have any edits to those minutes? I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
A motion? Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's approved. Ex parte communications, if anybody has had any communications about any of the cases tonight, whether written or oral, please notify by yea or nay, and if they were oral, just briefly explain the nature of those communications, if written, whether there was email or correspondence. Thank you.
I am not.
First,
You can start.
so this is the exportation, have you had any communications about any?
No, I have not.
Okay,
I have not.
I've not.
I have not.
I have not.
I have not.
Sorry, we should have explained that better to you.
Sounds fun.
I forgot this was your first night. All right, ready to move on to the first case.
The first case, case number 19-500342, City versus Boardwalk at Morris Bridge, SBE LLC LLP, Boardwalk at Morris Bridge Apartments LLC, and Boardwalk Morris Bridge SBE 2 LLC for the property located at 8800 Boardwalk Trail Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 8-56 subsection A, fire alarm system not operational and standards and FPA. Section 857B1, fire safety emergency lighting, and Section 857C6, fire safety, fire lanes parking. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Inspector Cletus Squires. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening. My name is Cletus Squires. I'm a fire inspector for the City of Temple Terrace Fire Department. On November 8th, I met with the property maintenance supervisor and conducted an inspection at the given property. The inspection revealed the fire alarm panel was not maintained, backup emergency lighting was not maintained, no property access for emergency vehicles and personnel after hours, and that the automatic fire sprinklers for the property throughout the property were not maintained. I provided a detailed fire inspection report to the property manager of my findings. Reinspection was scheduled on December 20th, 2019. The reinspection on December 20th revealed no change. That same day, I issued a notice of violation with a compliance date of January 20th, 2020. The notice was sent to the registered agent via certified mail and hand-delivered to the property by myself. The reinspection on January 20th revealed no change. On January 21st, I spoke to Amanda Rios, and she informed me that the owners contracted Sprinkler-Matic to address the outstanding violations. I spoke to Rusty from Sprinkler-Matic, and he stated that he would be addressing the violations, but had no tentative date of when he was going to be able to start. I told Rusty that I would put the property in the violations in compliance as they were completed. I would like to submit at this time photo and documentary evidence, if I may approach.
Sure, we'll accept the evidence.
Okay.
Would you, before you do that, kind of just explain what you're giving us?
Okay. So I have 4 exhibits where pictures showing that each one of the violations that I mentioned, the fire alarm panel, the red tags on the fire sprinkler system, which signifies that there's critical deficiencies that affect the way the system operates. Emergency lighting that's supposed to be there that's removed from the wall, and the fourth one was the gates entering the property, that they moved the entry gate key that the fire department carries to the guests instead of the ones for the residents, which requires the ladder trucks and engines to go to the right, because that's the only gate that opens, and they can't make the turn to come back into the property the way the gate is.
And these photos were taken by you?
Yes, sir.
Are they photos dated?
What's that, sir?
Are they dated?
Yes, they're dated on the original inspection of November 8th, 2019.
Thank you.
Okay. So part of, also included in the packet that I just handed you is 3 documentary exhibits. The first one was the picture of the red tag in the photo from A Total Solutions, which was the first, was the private vendor who did the inspections, who put the red tag on there, and I just shows the red tag, and I have their report showing why they red tagged the system in there. The second document is my annual fire inspection report showing the deficiencies that I found on November 8th. And the third documentary exhibit is just the city municipal code that applies to 2 of the violations
Thank
that
you.
are listed. The other 2 violations are NFPA, National Fire Protection Agency codes, which we follow to do the life safety inspections. Okay. So reinspection, I revisited the property today and revealed that the fire alarm control panel is now in compliance, and the property access for the emergency vehicles is now in compliance. So at this time, I would like to submit a affidavit of compliance, if I may.
Sir, we'll accept
Okay.
that, thank you. This is for all violations or just partial acceptance?
Excuse me, sir?
Is your,
No, it's just 2 violations.
Just 2?
2
Okay.
outstanding.
thank you.
The fire sprinkler and the emergency backup lighting is still
Okay.
outstanding violations.
Thank you. Are you through with your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions for the code officer?
I see 3 violations on here. I know you said that there was 4 total. Are there 2 and 1 here? Or
Yeah,
what's the-
yes, sir. The fire alarm and the fire sprinkler follow under NFPA codes, and they, with the city municipal code, they fall under one NFPA, okay?
Any other questions?
And that's the violation that's still not resolved?
The fire sprinkler and the emergency backup lighting are the 2 that's still out there.
And I think that's the same code violation.
No, no, no,
It's
sir.
two. It's
They're
2 different
56,
ones. Okay.
56A, 57B.
Okay.
Correct.
Any other questions of the code officer?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
So if, you said that the sprinkler system, company was going to repair the sprinklers. Are they also contracted to repair the lighting, or is that under contract?
Yes, sir. Actually, the same company has been contracted to do all the repairs. When I was out at the property today, they initiated the repairing the backup lighting, but there's eight apartment buildings and 1 clubhouse, and it was not in compliance at the time I did the reinspection. The fire and sprinkler, late yesterday afternoon, was a proposal was submitted to the ownership of Boardwalk for the cost of doing the repairs, and has not been initiated as this time.
So the contract hasn't been approved for the sprinklers yet?
That's my understanding, sir. It was just submitted, yes, sir. Okay?
Any other questions?
If I could ask
Sure.
the inspector a couple of questions.
Sure.
The remaining violations, are these serious violations?
The fire sprinkler system is a life safety issue, without a doubt. Same with the emergency lighting. If the alarm goes off, you need proper lighting as per code, NFPA and our municipal code, to find your way out the exits, out of the building and to the public way safely, because this is coming down stairwells, 3 flights of stairs, 2 flights of stairs in some cases, and getting out to the parking lot away from the building, and without adding undue stress of trying to find your way around in the dark.
And this is probably stating the obvious, but we should probably say it for the record. Do people live here at this apartment? Is it occupied?
Yes, yes,
This
it is.
apartment building? How many buildings are there?
There's 8 apartment buildings on the
Okay,
property.
All having people
Yes, sir.
residing within them?
Yes, sir.
And is this a matter of does the city need to get these violations corrected sooner rather than later?
Yes, sir. It's a life safety issue, is my take on that.
For the city's attorney, is the city's stance that would like us to view this within the powers of our ability to classify this as a health safety issue? Is that the city's stance on this, possibly?
Well, yes, potentially. I mean, the city is is wanting to definitely make clear this is a life safety issue, that the sooner they get this corrected, the better, and we would be seeking, a high fine based on that to try and motivate that this doesn't linger, gets done sooner rather than later.
Okay. And well, then a follow-up question to that is, are you asking for us, would it be feasible for us to mandate that the city repairs it and we bill the owner because of a
No,
health safety issue?
I don't think that the city's in a position to do that. We would rather
Okay.
have the management take
Okay.
care of this as soon as possible.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Seeing none, is there anybody here from Boardwalk at Moores Bridge? Seeing none. Okay, time for, I'd like to motion if I could. Anybody? Go
I'll
ahead,
make a
thank you.
motion. I just need the sheet. Sorry.
And as you're looking at your motions, remember, we have kind of a mixed bag here. We got 2 of them complied, 2 of them still acting.
All right. In case number 19-500342, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 8800 Boardwalk Trail Drive. And the codes sections that were in question were section 8-56A fire alarm, 8-7 subsection B subsection 1 fire safety emergency lighting, section 8-57 subsection C subsection 6 fire safety lanes, and section 8-56A sprinklers not operational. The motion is based on the sworn testimony of this board has received from the fire inspector, along with the city attorney, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all which were received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed for the violations of Code Section 8-57, subsection C, subsection 6, fire safety lanes, and 8-56, subsection A, fire alarm system not operational, because these violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing. I further move that the violations be corrected on or before.
March 11th.
No, I want to. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go February 26th, 2020. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine to be $250 per day until it's brought into compliance.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I do.
Couple of clarifications, just with regard to that motion, is just, because I'm not sure if I heard, I know that we got the 2 complied ones, but still what's outstanding is section 8-56, the sprinkler system. And 8-57B1, the emergency lighting.
Correct.
Understood.
Right, and I did want to remind the board, as the attorney for the city, the advocate for the city, that it's $250 per violation, and not necessarily $250 per case. Just to make you aware.
So I need to amend that then from the 250 a day to,
That is up to the board. I just wanted
Okay.
to remind that,
I think for the clarity of the record, why don't you just go ahead and amend, and we'll get a second on the amendment.
okay. I'll amend that that it's $250 per violation per day, so that would be $500 per day each day that both violations are out of compliance.
So amended, do you have a second on the amendment?
Second.
So moved, any further discussion?
I do have one question, and that's if it turns out that they've made significant progress by the 26th, since I think this may be a large job, but they haven't completed it, then can they at that point come back to the board next month
Yes.
and ask that the fines be waived?
Well, they can come back to the board next month and plead their case, and we'll talk about it, but if they've been fined, they have to go through a lien reduction process in order to get the fines waived, so
Okay. But there is some remedy.
there is some remedy available,
If they
yes.
show good faith effort.
Yes, there is.
If I can address that, this dates back to November 8th, and then a reinspection on the 20th. We're talking emergency lights that could be plugged in. We're talking a sprinkler system that could easily have been fixed, and meanwhile, these residents have been living in this property with none of that functional, even greater urgency of other things that they brought compliant. So that's why my tendency was to go for the max on this one. It's not like it happened 3 weeks ago or last month or the beginning of the year. I mean, there was an inspection on the 8th with a reinspection 6 weeks later, and they still weren't able to get the stuff fixed.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries unanimously. Next case.
Next case, case number 195722, City versus Mary Hirschfield for the property located at 714 East River Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 10(3)B, sanitation grass weeds, Section 1034, sanitation keep premises clean, Section 8-102-13B, exterior walls maintained in good repair, and Section 12-860, inoperative vehicles, outdoor storage equipment. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members. Jose Silva, co-compliance. This case originated proactively October 11, 2019. My inspection at the time noted the carport and screen porch cluttered with vehicle parts, tires, trash, and very dirty. An inoperative vehicle without a current tag was also present. The side yard fence was down, the grass was overgrown, and the exterior walls stained. I left door hangers with a compliance date of October 16, 2019. My inspection on October 18, 2019 revealed no change, so I issued a notice of violation with a compliance date of October 28, 2019. Posted the notice at the door as well as City Hall, and mailed copies both certified and regular mail to the registered owner. An inspection on January 2nd, 2020 revealed no change. This time I have 10 photos of exhibits to submit to the board.
Thank you. We'll accept those. Mr. Silva, these are photos that you took?
Yes, sir.
You have anything further while we're looking at the
As of
pictures?
this date, I have 2 items that have come into compliance, the overgrown grass and the inoperative vehicles. I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance for those 2.
We'll accept that. Thank you. So you said overgrown grass, and what was the other one?
And the inoperative vehicle.
And the inoperative vehicle. Thank you.
And Ms. Hirschfield is here tonight.
You can have a seat for a moment. There may be some questions for the code officer. Thank you. Thank you. Does the board have any questions for Code Officer Silva? Seeing none, is there anybody here that wishes to speak to this matter? Ma'am? State your name and address for the record, please.
Mary Hirschfeld, 714 East River.
Pull that
Drive.
mic down a little bit. Try again.
Mary Hirschfeld, 714 East River Drive.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry. The October date, that was a different vehicle. That red car was dropped off on my yard, unbeknownst to me. I didn't allow it. It was a son that had moved out. He had dropped that car off so that was why I got re-violated. Those other two cars was not there in October. They were just recently purchased, that you saw. Now, the stains on the wall, I understand that. And the board on the side, I didn't realize I could call and have that picked up from, I forgot what you told me.
Public Works.
Oh, Public Works. I thought it was, I know I did it once before for appliances, but not, I didn't know simple boards could be a special pickup. But that would be, taken care of. Now, the stains on the wall, I ran out of stuff to do it, so I still have that. But what I also want to know is, why are the other people that when I drive home, that have the same stains on the same wall, not different walls, but the same people are not being asked to clean their stains? And I got several. I don't have pictures because I didn't have time to print out the picture to ask why, or who I can talk to about why he's targeted me about certain things. But the people that when I drive home, the same people have stains on their walls. And some grass is overgrown too.
That's a discussion you should have with the code officer.
Okay,
Okay, you're here for your violation.
okay,
That your questions should be directed to either the code officer or the director of the code enforcement.
okay.
Okay?
Give me my card. I'll give you my card.
I just think I'm gonna get a pen. All right,
Anything else?
nope, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
This time, I'd like to ask for a motion. You have a question?
I wanted to ask about the process, or the progress on getting up to date on the other two that aren't up.
So I can do I get paid on
Come back, come on back so we can.
Okay, so Friday I get paid, so I can buy more stuff to clear the wall. The other thing I can call, she said,
Public Works.
Public Works. Remember that.
You get one free pickup a year.
And have that picked up or have it in the trash by tomorrow, because I'm asking a neighbor for, a saw to cut the little boards in half.
Great, so it sounds like these other two should be taken care of soon.
Right.
Great.
I would say within the next, week.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, be looking for a motion, please.
I'll do it. Okay. I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
In case number 19-5722, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 714 East River Drive. The motion is based on the sworn, for sections 10-3 subsection B, sanitation, grass, weeds, subsection 10-34, sanitation, keep premises clean, section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection B, exterior walls maintained in good repair, and section 12-860, inoperative vehicles, outside storage equipment. The motion is based on the sworn testimony that this board has received from the code enforcement officer and Ms. Mary Hirschfeld, along with any other evidence, including the photos, affidavits, and the notice violation, all which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed for the violations of Code Section 10- subsection 3, or 10-3 subsection B, sanitation, grass, weeds, and Section 12-860, inoperative vehicles, outsourced storage equipment, because these violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing. I further move that the remaining violations be corrected on or before March 11th, 2012. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that a fine for each remaining code section out of compliance is $20 a day until the code sections are brought into compliance.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Point of order. I think he said 2012. I could be wrong.
2012, did I say
think you
that?
said
2020, March 12, 2020.
8 years
So,
out of compliance, and that was fair.
thank you.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case.
Next case, case number 196805, City versus William E. Curtis Jr. and Ariana E. Buravadis for the property located at 109 South Glenarvan Avenue. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12859, subsection 2, RVs, boats, and trailers. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, board members. Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated proactively December 13th, 2019. My inspection at the time noted a boat in the driveway of the residence unscreened from view. I left door hanger with a compliance date of December 16th, 2019. My inspection on December 18th, 2019 revealed no change, so I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of December 23rd, 2019. I posted the notice at the front door as well as City Hall, also mailed copies both certified and regular mail to the address of the registered owner. My inspection on January 2nd, 2020 revealed the boat still present in the driveway of the residence. I'd like to submit photographic evidence. Exhibit number 1, the NOV posted at the front door, and exhibit number 2, the boat in the driveway.
Thank you. We'll accept those.
As of this afternoon, the boat is still present in the driveway, and the homeowner's here tonight.
Anything further, Mr. Silver?
Excuse me?
Anything else?
Nothing else, sir.
Thank you. Any questions for the code enforcement officer? Seeing none, you said the respondent's here tonight?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Would you like to say something?
Yes.
Okay. Come on up and state your name and address for the record, please.
William Curtis, 109 South Glenarvan Avenue. It is true that the boat is still in the driveway. Over the Christmas holidays, my wife suffered a stroke. My attention's been diverted to her health and doing everything I can to make sure that she is getting better. I have every intention of moving the boat or remedying the situation, whichever one I can come up with. It doesn't look like she's ever going to be able to go in a boat again, so in all likelihood, we'll be selling it. I just had a question regarding the violation itself. As I read it, it says recreational vehicles and boats, including boat trailers, must be parked in the rear or side yard, no closer than 5 feet to any property line and screened from view by fence or landscape buffer. In the unlikely event that we do decide to keep the boat, I was trying to get some guidance on what you all thought, and I guess I would have to talk to the director here, on what that would entail. I mean, the driveway is a very, very long apron from the street, from Glenarvan. And I'm just actually looking for some information. I don't know if it's cost prohibitive or not to try to do the screening, but as I said, it doesn't look like she's going to be able to ever go on the boat again anyway. So I did want you all to know that I didn't just disregard this, I just had my attention diverted to some other matters.
Thank you, and we appreciate that. Those questions that you just presented would be best presented to the director and work that out with them.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Just not. Any questions for the respondent? Thank you, sir.
Well,
You did have a question?
yeah,
Okay.
real quick.
Come on back up, sorry.
Mr. Curtis, if traditionally we give about 30 days to try to come in compliance, do you think you might be able to work with the code department to come up with a remedy or solution within 30 days?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll seek a motion.
Let's keep it moving, I'll go.
I'll do it if you.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
In case number 19-6805, I move that the city is proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the city of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 1009 South Glenarvan Avenue. Applicable codes are Section 12-859, subsection 2. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, the property owner, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before March 11th, 2020. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $20 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Before we move on to the next case, Ms. Hirschfield in the back, there's no reason, unless you have a reason, you can stay if you want, but you're welcome to leave. Okay, it's your choice. I didn't want you to think you had to stay. Okay. Okay, next case, please.
We will now skip to case number 20-88, City versus Lila Nauer Salhab, for the property located at 12402 Pampas Place. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12922A, parking commercial vehicle in a residential district. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case this evening is a repeat violation case that was presented to the Municipal Code Enforcement Board in September of 2019 by me, where the respondent was found in violation with a city code ordinance for parking or storing a commercial trailer in a residential zone. On Saturday morning of January the 4th, 2020, an inspection by Officer Allen noted a commercial trailer stored on the street in a residential zone. My Monday morning inspection on January the 6th, 2020, noted the commercial trailer stored in the driveway. A notice of repeat violation was prepared and hand-delivered to Osad Al-Suki to obtain service. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violation that was taken by Code Inspector Allen, Director Baroni, and myself, and a copy of the order from the MCEB hearing in September of 2019. Exhibit 1 through 8 shows a commercial trailer parked and stored in a residential zone, and exhibit number 9 is a copy of the order.
We'll accept those, thank you. Anything else while they're passing down the pictures?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. There have been 14 prior cases at this property for the same violation for the last 2 years. As of today's inspection, the site is now in compliance, and I would like to submit an affidavit of compliance. City staff has, made many observations of the trailer inside a residential zone at this property.
Sure.
Do we know what the prior fine was?
I had it was the order of finding, was in compliance. Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
You had any dialogue with the owner of the property?
Yes, sir, I have, as well as the respondent is also here in attendance tonight and would like to address the board.
Okay.
Can I go ahead and submit the affidavit of compliance? sir?
Absolutely. We'll accept that, thank you.
Honestly, Mr. Chairman, I'm requesting a ruling for the non-consecutive 8 days the violation has occurred.
Thank you. Any other questions for the code enforcement officer? You said the respondent is here?
Yes, sir.
Would the respondent like to make a statement? Come on up. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Lath, address 12402 Pimpus Place. This trailer, I bought it in June, and this is my work trailer. I'm a contractor. So sometimes we work the regular 8-hour days, sometimes we end up working the 24-hour days. And when I get home, well, by the time it is to get home, I just don't have it in me to take it to storage. So I wait till the morning, and then I usually take it out by the morning. The times that it does stay, that's the times that I have it there to organize it, but it's usually there 1 day, 2 maximum, and it's out.
Any questions for the respondent? Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Be seeking a motion at this time?
You want to ask it?
I
Did you have a
do
question?
have a question for the gentleman. I'm sorry.
Come on back up.
I need more of a second. So obviously, like,
Wait till we approach this.
sure. Obviously, what you're doing isn't really working. Like, I totally get that you're tired at the end of the day and you just want to, go to bed and all that.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of a way that you can, come up with another solution, or, because
I
obviously
do.
we don't want to find people.
I did
It's just
ask.
14 times is a lot.
On the side of the house, there's a fence that comes around the side of the house. It's about 15, 20 feet long, and then it goes down across Soaring to the stop sign. And from that distance is about 40 feet. I asked if I can have it back there, because I do have a boat back there, and I can fit the trailer back there. But I asked the code enforcement officer, she said the commercial vehicle cannot be there regardless, even though it's gonna be behind the fence. That was my only solution. The other solution I had was on the other side of the house, but when I took the measurements, it's gonna be like 2-3 inches on one side, 2-3 inches on the gate of the neighbors, so that was out of the question. So that was the only way I have of storing it.
I'm sure if you spoke to the director, he'd be willing to, work with you and coming up with a way to be in compliance if possible, covering it maybe, or it's a large trailer.
It's a commercial, it's a
Can't be-
commercial.
Oh, regardless, even if
Yeah.
it's in a shed or in a garage?
Enclosed garage, yes, sir.
Okay, but you can't just put up a garage, so, okay, I mean,
I do have another question.
Go ahead.
If I raised
I
up
think
the
you said 8
fence,
days.
is that code?
Can't be in the residential zone. Even, it can't be at your property.
At all?
It's a commercial vehicle,
Okay.
unless you put it inside your home or your garage. It has to be in an
That's
enclosed
gonna be a tough one.
so you need
Okay,
another
hey.
solution is what I'm saying.
Okay, this is a conversation you need to have away from this particular venue,
Absolutely.
okay? Sir,
I could ask you a quick question.
Absolutely.
Are you the tenant at this property?
Yeah.
Okay, and I just want to remind the board that he's the tenant, and if you do a lien on this, or a fine on this property, it does become a lien against the property, so we might want to hear from the property owner too.
is the property owner here?
I thought I heard he was here. Did I mishear that?
No, the property owner is in,
Okay.
yeah, they're out of the country.
I thought I heard the property.
Okay. I mean, you just need another solution is all, I was, and I was hoping you had a better idea. You need to park it somewhere else ultimately, so,
Basically, yeah.
all right.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Okay, are we looking for a motion, please?
I want to get clarity on the days out of compliance.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Lori, could you step back up? You have a question?
It was 8 days that it was a repeat
Yes, sir.
violation out of compliance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're looking for a motion, please.
I'll do it. Might be a tricky one. I'll do it. In case number 19-7044, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code existed on the property located at 11718 North 51st Street. Violations
No,
are...
whoa.
Sorry.
It's case number 200088,
Oh, sorry.
12402 Papa's Place.
Got it. I'll amend that to be case 20-0088 at 12402 Papa's Place. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer and the owner of the trailer, along with any other evidences, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the respondent be found to be a repeat violator as defined by City Code, Section 1-63, because the respondent is found to have violated the same provision for the City Code within the previous 5 years regarding the property, regardless of the property address. I further move that the daily fine be assessed for the repeat violations from the time of the notice of repeat violation up until the time the repeat violations are corrected, which is 8 days. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $20 per day. $160.
And just for clarification, this is city versus, I'm going to butcher this, but Lahad Noor Salhab, not the person that came in front of us, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries unanimously. Next case.
On unfinished business, we have a case with the respondent that is here.
Okay?
Case number 195763, City versus Tampa Acquisitions, Inc., for the property located at 7202 East Fowler Avenue. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight, and the respondent would like to speak.
Okay.
And this is
You- you-
Officer Lori Smith's case.
Come on up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Is Lori going to present?
No, it's-
My name is Randy Hall. My address is 1201 Oakville Drive, Brandon, Florida, 33509. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, council members. Apologize for just kind of finding out about this. This was property we own, and I work for the property owner company. And with the tenant or the leasee had good intentions, I guess, was trying to get things worked out with the developer who built the storage unit next to our property. In the process, they damaged the wall, retaining wall behind the building. And I found out when we took the store back from the tenant at the beginning of February. And what I'd like to do is ask for an extension. And I spoke to the developer today, and I talked with Officer Smith briefly. I think we can get it resolved in the next, the developer said he's out of St. Louis, but he said he could have his crew on site within a week, and we can probably have it resolved within a week to 10 days after that. That way, if it be okay with Officer Smith and you guys, then we'll have this resolved before the 1st of March at the latest. Typically don't like any of our properties have this kind of problem, but it was something they did, and just the tenant, like I said, was trying to resolve it on his own, but when it came down to coming up with some funding on his part, then that's when he had to calls and lets me know about it, and I'm like, You know, why did you wait till the last 2 days to tell me about it, you know? So I apologize for having to be here tonight.
Thank you. Any questions for the respondent? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, at this point, we'll be looking for a motion for an extension, if that's what
I'll
the
make it.
board wants to do.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Make a motion, case number 19-5763, City versus Tampa Acquisitions, Inc., for the property located at 7202 East Fowler Avenue, and for the city code violation, section 12-861, subsection E, subsection 6, fences and appearance, that we extend the deadline until the next meeting, March 11th, 2020. If it's not brought into compliance by March 11th, 2020, then the original fine of $50 per day shall begin to accrue on the date following that.
Thank you. We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries unanimously. Next case.
Now we will skip down to the lien reduction, and Director Brony will present.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Code Board members. Tom Baroni, Code Compliance Director. At this time, I would like to introduce the lien reduction petition request in case number 19-1124. City versus Deborah Santiago, property located at 7720 Gulf Court with a lien amount of $4,450. This case originated back on February 26, 2019.
4,450 or 4,550?
$4,450.
Okay, because it says 550 in my,
Okay, let me just make sure then.
The correct amount is $4,450.
Okay.
The owner wrote $4,550.
Okay.
But the correct lien amount is $4,450.
Gotcha.
Which is what is on the agenda.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This case originated back on February 26, 2019, when Inspector Silva noted two inoperative vehicles in the driveway. The board found the respondent guilty with a $50 per day fine, which accrued a lien amount of $4,450. With 13 inspections by city staff, code staff of $483, and city clerk's costs of $130, totaling $613. Being that this violation was not a health and safety issue, and the violation did come into compliance on October 8th, 2019, my recommendation to the board this evening is to lower the lien amount from $4,450 to the offer amount made by the petitioner of $1,000. If you have any questions for me, I'll stand by.
Any questions for Mr. Baroni? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Understand the respondent is here? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Danielle Red. I live at 7719 Golf Court. I'm representing the owner. I'm on her behalf. She travels. She's currently in California. And I just wanted to make a statement and say that the tenants that were living in the property, when they received notice of violation, the owner and myself were unaware. And the owners have since vacated the premises. And I wanted to say the day that the owner became aware of the violation, it was rectified. So she didn't know, I didn't know, and there was a language barrier with the tenants that were in there. The adult son travels for work, he's not around a lot. The mother was there, didn't really understand, I guess, the violation, the notice, and never really said anything. So unfortunately, it became a big mess, and I just wanted to say that, you know, now the tenants are no longer there. They're willing to pay for the fees and the cost of the violation that the owner has incurred.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't go away yet. There may be some questions.
Okay.
Any questions for the respondent? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll accept a motion at this time.
I'll do it. I need the script for the, mine doesn't have that.
Right here. There you go.
In case number 19-1124, for the property located at 7720 Gulf Court. Upon hearing the facts and argument from the city and the property owner, I hereby move that the board recommend to the city council that the lien be reduced from $4,450 to the city recommended value of $1,000, contingent upon the lien being paid within 30 days of the council's decision, or it would revert to the original amount of $4,450, and the city is authorized to enforce the fine in accordance with the law.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries unanimously. So what this means is, it's not really over yet. This board can make a recommendation to the city council, which they just did, to lower the fine from $4,450 to $1,000. At the next council meeting, is it the next council meeting, or we make it on that agenda, or two?
I don't think we can get it on the 18th.
Okay, so be the following, be the first one in April, is, right?
First one in March.
First one in March. So the first council meeting in March, whatever that date is, that's when they will hear this. And then, somebody should probably be there so that you know. That's when the clock starts ticking, the 30 days. So if they accept our recommendation, you have 30 days to pay the fine from the date of that meeting. Okay? Thank you. You're welcome. Next case.
Case number 197044, City versus Mohammed F. Apkudir, for the property located at 11718 North 51st Street. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12860 and operative vehicles, outdoor storage equipment. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening again, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively December the 31st, 2019. My inspection revealed an inoperative vehicle with an expired registration parked on the front yard. At that time, I left a door hanger with the compliance date of the 6th of January, 2020. My inspection on January 6, 2020 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of the 20th of January, 2020. No one was at home, so I posted the notice at the front door, and I requested copies be mailed certified, first-class mail, and I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on the 21st of January 2020 revealed no change. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violation that was taken by me January the 21st, 2020. Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows the inoperative vehicle with the expired registration.
We'll accept those, thank you. Anything further?
Yes, sir. As of today's date, the site is now in compliance, and at this time, I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance. I'm just looking for a finding.
Thank you, we'll accept. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion. We don't have a respondent here, right?
Yes, sir.
So we'll just be seeking a motion.
I'll do a motion.
Thank you.
In case number 19-7044, City versus Mohammed F. Abukder, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the city of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on property located at 11718 North 51st Street. Code violation is 12-860, inoperative vehicle. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the day of this hearing.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries unanimously. Next case.
Case number 53, City versus MNSF T3 SPE LLC for the property located at 9801 North 55th Street. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-1055 Site Visibility Triangle and Section 1035 Sanitation Abutting Property. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was referred to me by Code Compliance Director Tom Baroni. My inspection on January 4th, 2020 revealed that there was an issue with a site visibility triangle and a cluttered street gutter. I went directly to a notice of violation with a reinspection date of January 27th, 2020. I posted the notice on the site, and the notice was also posted at City Hall, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on January 28th showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared on January 30th, and the case was scheduled for the February Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the site taken by me on January 6th and January 27th, 2020.
We'll accept that. And we do have a couple of new members. Maybe you could explain to us what the site visibility triangle is.
I'll be happy to, sir. The site visibility triangle is when you come to an intersection that you have site visibility down the side streets that you have the ability to pull out safely. And it's pretty obvious from the photos. Photo number 1 was obviously the posting of the notice of violation. Photo number 2, there's a perpendicular to that, there is an exit out of a commercial site. So if you were coming out of there, right there, you would not be able to see down 98th Street. And there again, that's looking west to east, and the other was east to west. So if you were coming on that 98th Street, you would not have been able to have seen a vehicle trying to come out of there. So exhibit number 1 was the posting of violation. Exhibit number 2 shows the visual impairment of the site visibility triangle from east facing west. Exhibit number 3 shows the leaves and debris in the street gutter, and exhibit number 4 shows the visual impairment of the site visibility triangle from west facing east.
Thank you, sir.
You're
So
welcome.
How far back would they have to go to be in compliance?
Well, that's the next thing I have. I have an
Oh.
affidavit of compliance I
Well,
would like to submit,
I
sir.
keep doing the same thing with you. You tricked me like that last time.
Thank you.
Will the board accept?
We'll accept that, yes.
All right, and I am seeking a finding.
So just to solve the mystery, how far back did he have to
It
go?
went back to the property line, which was probably about roughly 10 to 15 feet from the
So
edge of
that's
the pavement.
this way, but about that way.
Well, that was the main issue, was the depth of that. I actually had to go back out and do a little bit of touch-up just on some of it, because what the property owner did was they trimmed up to their property, but the property that you would have been exiting still had a little bit of visibility issue. Wasn't a whole lot, so I just went ahead and trimmed that up.
Okay. Very good, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Any questions for the code officer? And the respondent is not here?
No, sir.
Okay, so we have no respondent. I'm looking for a motion, please.
I'll make one.
Thank you.
In case number 20-0053, I move the city as proven by a greater weight of the evidence that the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 9801 North 55th Street. And the applicable codes of 12-1055 and 10035. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with other evidence including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the recording of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries unanimously. Next case, please.
Case number 20-0239, City versus Sunrays Corporation for the property located at 9228 North 56th Street. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 14-59, local business tax required. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Director Tom Baroni. City is evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Tom Baroni, Code Compliance. Good evening, board members. This case this evening originated on January 10th, 2020, when code staff received a list of delinquent local business tax through customer service. I visited Varsity Cleaners on January 14th, 2020, noted that the business was open to the public, met with the employee that morning, and left the door hanging with a reinspection date of January 17th, 2020. On my follow-up inspection, I checked with Sarah Sims. She's customer service for the Temple Terrace, and she advised me that there was no change to the property. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared on January 22nd, 2020, with a compliance date of January 28th, 2020. I hand-delivered the notice of violation to store employee Daisy Guzman to obtain service. On January 30th, 2020, I checked with Sarah Sims from customer service, and she stated that the business still remained out of compliance. She did have a conversation with the new owner of Varsity Cleaners. She stated to Ms. Sims that her father-in-law passed away 3 years. His name is Mr. Lee. And so Ms. Sims told Ms. Sue that she would have to apply for a new business tax through the county and through Temple Terrace. So that procedure takes a little while to obtain a local business tax, not only through the county, but also through Temple Terrace. It just doesn't happen overnight. So at this time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence showing that, one, is the business is open to the public, and I'll show you a copy of the renewal letter that was sent out to the old owner. 3 of these were sent to him, but he's been deceased for 3 years. So at this time, I'd like to submit.
We'll accept, thank you. So do we have any assurances that she's actually going to apply?
Well, she did change the Sunbiz. I went into Sunbiz 10 days ago, and she did change that, the ownership change to her name.
Okay.
Okay, so at this time, I think if you just gave her 30 days, I don't see a problem with her obtaining. She's still trying to get the county one, and you have to go downtown Tampa to get that.
Is that a prerequisite to getting one from us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, but I can see within 30 days, I can't see why she can't bring the business in compliance.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Any other
questions for Mr. Baroni?
Sorry, sir.
Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Respondent is not here, so I'll be looking for a motion.
Yeah, I just wanted to, you got my sheet.
You got the sheet?
Let's move it on. Okay. Case number 20-0239. I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 9228 North 56th Street. And the code, applicable code section is section 14-59, local business tax required. The motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement director, along with any other evidence, including the photos and affidavits and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before March 11th, 2020. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that a fine of $15 per day shall be assessed.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can we just make a comment, sir?
Absolutely.
It might be a good idea to cap this, because we don't want this to go lingering on. You might want to cap the fine. I understand
Okay.
per day, but you may want to cap this.
Well, do you think we could, I'd rather have her come in and see us to get an extension.
Okay, I agree with that, but I wouldn't go higher than $250 for the That would be my recommendation to the board.
Does it normally take more than 30 days to get a business license out of
No.
Hillsborough County?
No, no.
Okay, so she's fine until March 11th.
15, okay. I just don't want this to accrue to.
Understood.
So,
So I think, you know, I think what he's saying is we'll leave it alone.
okay,
If come March 11th, she needs an extension,
Okay.
we'll talk about it at that time.
but 30 days would be more than $250.
Yeah, but it doesn't accrue until, it doesn't start accruing until March 11th.
Good point, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there a lot of back taxes owed? Was that your concern, or that they
No,
wouldn't be
no.
able to? Okay.
No, there's no back taxes.
Oh, I
It's
got
just- It's just, he's concerned it might take longer than 30 days to
Right.
get the
And
license.
the fine doesn't start until
And-
March
And he was,
12th.
he knows better, but he thought the fine started
Yes.
before March 11th.
Being very considerate, he was, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I guess we're on to, okay, so we have a motion, we have a second, no further conversation, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So we're on to unfinished business?
Yes. Case number 19-4617, City versus Iman B. and Fatima A. Syed for the property located at 9424 Bellhaven Street. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Doug Allen for Section 1281E6, dated January 21st. That property was out of compliance for 12 days.
Okay.
Just to let you know. We handled the next one. Case number 19-6072, City versus High Point Trust Service LLC for the property located at 502 Coach Lane. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight, and we have an affidavit of compliance for Section 12860, 8102 13B, 12861E6, and 1035 dated February 10th, 2020. Submitted by Director Brony. And case number 196326, City versus 5400 Bush Boulevard LLC for the property located at 5400 East Bush Boulevard. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by by Officer Doug Allen for Section 121047, dated January 27th, 2020. That property was out of compliance for 16 days, just to let you know.
Thank you.
Case not on the agenda, case number 194186, City versus Judith Valdez Cugat for the property located at 6109 Oak Fern Court. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Director Brony for Section 810213C, dated January 25th, 2020. So that stops that lien. Stops it from accruing.
Good job. Okay. Any new business? If there's no other business, I'll entertain a motion.
Tom.
Oh, Tom has something. Sorry.
I didn't run fast enough.
Didn't run fast enough. You
I'm
got
sorry,
it.
Mr. Chairman. Just a few comments.
Okay.
First, I'd like to welcome Mr. Gear to the board. I appreciate you stepping up and becoming a member. I think there should be more volunteers in the city to take a chair, but thank you, and kudos to you. Just on the January code board, we presented those 2 lien reductions. Both of them came in and paid.
Oh, good.
So I just want to mention that to the
Great.
board. I just want to give a shout out, kudos to Lori Smith. She was the employee of the month of February.
Oh, awesome.
For, So,
Wait a minute, weren't you not here the month of February?
and I just wanted to, maybe we could just have a little small dialogue as far as this local business tax thing with what I'm concerned with is the cap part is after 30 days, let's say Ms. Sue doesn't come to the board, she disappears or whatever. I'm just afraid this is gonna accumulate to $1,000 fine.
Well, we won't let that happen. I mean, if.
I understand,
Yeah.
and I'm stating to the board, she's gonna come here, but what if she doesn't?
Then
And
you will-
that's why we do cap it.
Yeah, well, I think, here's what could happen, and council can chime in if he disagrees with me.
Okay.
You know, come March 11, let's say that she hasn't gotten it yet,
Right.
okay? You can state that you spoke to her, you didn't speak to her, you can get some status from her, she doesn't have to be here.
Okay.
You can kind of speak in her stead and suggest that, you know, maybe another extension is in order. I think that's fair. Is that okay? I mean,
Well, let's say on the flip
Yeah.
side, Dave, she doesn't come in. Or she doesn't have no dialogue with me. just say March 12th, it's defined starts. That, I think like with
Well-
the rental housing permits and the local business tax, we used to cap them. Now, I'm getting a little older, so my
No, no,
memory's
no,
not as
that's,
good.
it's a good point, but I
But-
think here's, but I think, you know, we already made the motion, okay?
No,
so-
I know that. But I just
I
wanna-
guess for this particular incident, maybe you put it in your tickler file to call her if you don't hear anything on March 10th,
Right.
or March 8th. And, if you don't hear anything from her, you know, we can deal with it at the next meeting.
Okay, but we received 140 delinquent local business taxes. So you may be hearing more of these cases.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I want to try to resolve this tonight.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Why so many?
That's just, my staff and I
Yeah.
got a stack like this from customer service.
Wow,
So a lot of the businesses they're not there no longer,
okay.
and some of them are still there, and we're working with those people.
Point of clarity, if, let's say she doesn't come in, tax runs up, as soon as somebody takes over the business as Sunbiz, would that lien not stop on that business corporation? And then it would just be outstanding on the owner? And then the new person would not incur that outstanding lien because it would be a new corporation, new business altogether.
Right. The owner came in yesterday, and she wanted the tenant to come here and to present her case. And then she said to me tonight she couldn't make it.
All right.
Okay.
So yes, the lien's gonna go against the property owner. We don't put a lien against the business owner.
Right.
It's the property owner.
Just like-
My concern is, I would like you not to have 140, and if we continue to do a cap, if people realize that, oh, well, it's just a small cap, then they might be like, I'll just pay the 250, but let it run and pay the 250. That would be my concern. I'm looking the other risk-averse side.
Okay. I'm just saying, I believe in the past.
Okay.
When the fire department used to present their cases, as well as the local business tax, we used to cap it.
Okay.
And
Well-
I think after $15 a day and you max out at 250, it's capped at that point.
Okay, then the next question, is 250 the flat amount, or does it depend on the square footage, the size of the business, and the?
There's all kinds of different
Yeah,
delivery
there's- yeah.
charges. There's so many
Yeah.
different,
Yeah, there's a whole, I mean, even just the business tax itself is not a flat tax.
right.
It varies as well. So I get your point. I think we all do.
Right.
Each
You
case,
want to add something?
each case typically stands alone. You know, if this particular one has, if we think that, you know, she's making progress and really wants to get it, you know, we can always put a cap on it next time.
Okay.
And if it comes up again, just remind us ahead of time. Okay?
Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
maybe you can get with Tom or the council, and when you make your recommendation for lien reduction, you say this amount, maybe as you present these cases, then you present a cap at a certain amount when you present it.
Right.
You know, the city's seeking a finding of this, and because if it's a $500 one and we're only gonna cap it 250,
My recommendation would be to cap them.
Okay.
I
We can do
don't,
that
I
next
mean,
time.
we don't want these big liens. I mean,
No.
we all say the same thing
Yeah.
we don't want
No,
these,
absolutely,
and,
we agree.
you know, so I think this is one way to,
We agree.
okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you bringing it up. Any other new business? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, members.
Kristen, if we leave this here, will it be here next time? Calendar and.